Hi, and welcome to the live training today. Market your firm for free, three no-cost strategies that outperform paid campaigns. Man, that is a long title. I think that's the hardest part of my work done today. I'm in the South Island of New Zealand, in a little town called Wanaka. Would love to know where you're dialing in from. You can use the chat to do that. You can let me know in there. I'd love to know where you are. Oh, David, you're in Manila. I think it will be a little bit warmer than where I am. How you doing? Thanks for coming along. If you've got any problems during today's session, any technical stuff, Anthea is on the call as well, and she'll be happy to help out. Hey, Serena in Arizona. Good to have you here, Mark in Auckland. David's hot in the Philippines. I'm cold. It's pretty cold here today and snowing over the weekend. Hey, Eric in Georgia. Teresa in Texas. Tanya in Picton in New Zealand. Got heaps of people here today. That's awesome. We will get into this because I want to keep it nice and punchy and short for you. We're recording the session and we'll send that out afterwards with some of the resources that I'm going to be sharing. Yeah, let's get into it today. Hey, Jono in Adelaide, Stephen in Tassie with a hailstorm. That's probably a bit more like New Zealand weather. Great to have you here today. So what we're going to be covering is three different campaigns, which basically no cost, right? Like there's always a bit of a time investment, but there's no dollar cost to these campaigns. And we're going to look at cross-selling and upselling to your existing clients, some efficient ways to get more referrals from clients, and then looking how you can win clients from LinkedIn, because I think that's a really valuable source of new business that I think a lot of firms are missing out on. So a little bit about myself. I've been working with accountants and bookkeepers for 14 years now. I'm the founder and CEO of BizInc. And we've been doing this over a decade with BizInc. Pretty helped over 2,000 firms in that time. And in terms of my hobbies, that's me in the bottom. Like to climb frozen waterfalls. I don't get to do a lot of that anymore now. I've got a couple of young kids, but maybe once again in the future. So let's get straight into these campaigns, and I'm just going to run a quick poll. And the question is, do your clients know about all the ways you can help them? So I ask this question a lot, and I think the answer is really interesting. So do your clients know about all the ways you can help them? Let's launch that poll. So let me know. So yes, no, or not sure. Now, I definitely would put myself in the no camp in this. And sometimes you have to eat your own medicine, and I get that it's hard. It's hard to do this, but I'm going to show you some ways that we can. I'm just going to run this for a little bit more before I close it off. Okay, cool. Let's end that, and I'll share the results with you, which I kind of knew what they were going to be because I asked this question a lot. Not many people saying that their clients know about all the ways that they could help them. So to me, that's a massive opportunity. It's the most present opportunity for most firms because, who can be a warmer lead than an existing client? And I know you're all doing a great job for your clients, so they want to get more from you. So the let's stop sharing that, and let's look at how we can do more there. So I mean why should you be selling more to your clients, right? Because that's what we're actually talking about here. Well, if you selling to them is actually helping them more, and that means clients are happier, right? People who you do more for are generally much happier, and that means they're gonna stay with you for longer, less churn, and you're likely to get more referrals. And obviously, from a financial point of view, you're maximizing that revenue per client. So in short, I think you might not need more clients in terms of growth. Revenue growth could come from within. For example, like most of you said, your clients don't know all the ways you can help them. What if you upsold like one extra service to 20% of your clients? What would that do for your revenue? What would that do for your profitability? And I think it's really relevant in a time when it's really hard to hire. We've got people across the world in this session. I know that this is an issue right across the globe is the talent shortage. So that being said, I think usually upselling, cross-selling can be done with the existing team, but you can grow your revenue. So let's have a look at some ways to do that. And I'm going to put into practice here with you the fastest marketing plan that you're ever going to create. And all you have to do is write down all the additional services you offer. I've just come up with some examples here, and then assign a service to a month for the next 6 months. And then in that month, all you're going to do is send an email to clients, letting them know that you can help them with, say, it's payroll, budgeting, whatever that is, and then repeat. And when I say repeat, you could repeat that twice a year. So, talk about payroll every June or whatever it is, because most clients don't know or have forgotten all the ways that you can help them. In my experience, when I ask accountants and bookkeepers about this, they'll generally say something like, yeah, we told them when we onboarded them, which if it was last week, they've probably forgotten. If it was last year, they've definitely forgotten. And some of your clients will have been with you for a long time. So, in my opinion, it's actually a courtesy to remind people of all the things you can do for them, um, because they want help, right? Business owners want help, and also people, clients, their businesses evolve, right? So, what they needed last year is different to what they might need this year. They might have grown, they might have shrunk, they might have, set up a new entity. Who knows what, right? So don't expect them to remember any of what you might have told them in the past. In fact, it's probably a better way to assume that they've forgotten. So how do you start doing more to clients? Well, to me, send a monthly email blast. Email marketing is such an underused tactic for accounting firms, and you can do this for free, right? Like we've got a few business clients on the call. You've already got email marketing probably built into the back end of your website, so it's not free per se, but you're already paying for it. But tools like Mailchimp, they have free plans, right? So you can do this completely free now. The template you see on screen, which is about upselling payroll services, can work really well. And there's a template that we can drop into the chat for you. Just gonna put that in the chat here. So put some templates together for you, and you can tailor this and send it to your clients. Obviously, it doesn't have to be about payroll, and send it out to your clients, right? So it's going to pay if you segment your list. Obviously, you don't want to be sending a payroll email to people who don't have a team, or you're already doing payroll for them or something like that. So divide up your list, but just keep it really short and direct. Business owners are busy. You don't need to sort of check in, how you doing, just let them know that you can handle this thing for them. You can do it really short. You can do it by adding an example. So that's what we've got in this template here. Definitely state the benefits that they're going to get from that. Social proof also helps. So like a testimonial, and then have a simple next step. So a simple next step, like a meeting booker, just to remove friction in terms of making it easy for people to take that next step. So the the other way you can do that, so just reading the questions, will be an open question approach. So I often get the feedback that people don't want to be salesy, right? Like, and I could do a whole webinar on that, but I, in my opinion, like helping clients with stuff that they want isn't salesy. But if it bothers you to sort of be really direct like that, there's more an open question approach that you could take, right? So this is going to be a bit more time intensive because it's open, but the flip side of that is there's the potential to dig a little deeper. So the template you can see on screen, very similar, but it's more just like, hey, you probably don't know all the way things we can do for you. What's on your mind, and let's have a chat about that. So there's the potential there to get a lot more information from that client, and maybe find, if you promote payroll, well, what you're going to sell payroll probably, and nothing else. Whereas doing it like this, you've got that potential to dig a little deeper. So you could send this maybe every 6 to 12 months, and if you're doing it well, it should not feel like marketing. It's just like a genuine check-in. And I would say that about all your marketing. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. It's just like client comms. It's just a natural email that people will be getting. So that's it, really. A couple of emails like that. You could, of course, expand this to things like having meetings with people, calling them. You could run a webinar, and a live event with clients. But in terms of like a very low cost approach that you could do this week, take those templates that I've got, and try that with clients. In my experience of doing this for a long time, the firms who are consistently growing are really good at cross-selling and upselling to clients. They have really high adoption of their services amongst their client base. All right, so quick poll. Do you ask clients for referrals? Another question that I ask quite a bit. So interested to know, do you ask clients for referrals? Now, let me just launch that poll up. Anthony's done it for me. Thank you. So 3 options: regularly, occasionally, or never. I usually do yes and no, so I thought I'll do a little bit different this time. I'm putting occasionally, and that seems to be a popular answer. So let's let this run through. All right, I'm going to close that off in a few more seconds. There we go. So occasionally came up as the top answer. Normally, if I put no, that comes out the strong answer. So interesting. But very few people are doing it regularly, and that's my experience, is that most people don't. So we've done a lot of surveys on this kind of thing, and we found that like 90% of accounting and bookkeeping firm leads come from referrals, which I'm sure would be very similar in your own firm. Yeah, only 20% of firms ask for referrals. So that's a massive wasted opportunity to me, because if you don't ask for things, you don't really get them. And I think that persistence is also important here. So you think of how important like referrals are in not just in what we do, but also things like TripAdvisor or Airbnb. They always want you to give that review, right? But to do that, they generally have to ask a few times. And I think it's the same thing with referrals. Clients are normally happy to do it, but they usually need a nudge. So I think just sending something as simple as this can work wonders, right? Would you refer us? We love working with you. Would you mind referring us? Now, I sent this same template to somebody who is, I reckon, the most followed accountant in New Zealand on social media. He's got like, tens of thousands of followers to his like podcast and things like that. And he's like, you know what? I just never do this. I actually never do this. And he sent this template out, or he probably tweaked it a little bit and got some referrals straight away. So I think that it's about making this a habit. So it's not occasionally, it's obviously not never, it's regular, it's a system. And that's what turns it into marketing, right? Waiting for clients to give you referrals, that's just hope. But if you have a system where you're doing this habitually, then I think you can call it marketing at that point. So I'd be sending something like this to all your clients, maybe once a quarter. It could be you do this after big projects. You finish a big piece of work for a client. You have this there. You could be asking in client meetings. And obviously, if you've got a team, asking them to do all of it as well. And you're thinking, if you got one more referral a month, what would that do for your revenue and your profit? Because, most of them are going to close. I'd have thought, over 50% of referrals are going to close. And what would one more a month do? Even one more a quarter. So like I said before, I think persistence pays with this, just sending this and leaving it there. I'm not going to say it's not going to get you anything. And I've definitely seen some of our clients have results that way. But I think, doing it a few times is what's going to work. And I get that it might be a little bit awkward at first, but as soon as it becomes this habit, you can do that very naturally. And one thing you can do if there's a concern over what if people aren't happy, you can put a PS in there saying like, if you're not happy to refer us, I'd really like to know why. Let's jump on a call and sort that out. So you can almost turn it into like a customer success opportunity as well to sort of fix issues if people aren't happy to refer you. So that template is in that doc that we've shared earlier. We'll be sending that all out in an email after the session as well. You can also hone that sort of campaign a little bit by going to a niche, right? So, you want more ideal clients, of course they are. That's why we call them ideal clients. So it makes sense to ask kind of your existing ideal clients to refer more people like them. So here's a way that we've done this with an industry niche. And it kind of works a bit better because then, they're very clear on what you want, how they can help you. You can be really specific about those benefits that you can offer to that type of business. And I think that, at the other end of that, the most ideal clients have generally already got an accountant or a bookkeeper, right? Because they're successful, and successful people have accountants and bookkeepers generally, right? So what that means is it's not like they're choosing you over, doing it themselves or Excel or something like that. They're normally choosing over someone who's getting the job done. And that's what you're trying to overcome, that inertia of them staying with who they've got. So that's a whole other webinar, right, about ideal clients and all of that. But you're far more likely to overcome that inertia if you do something very specific for someone, if it, rather than just a generalist kind of referral. So that template's in the same doc, and yeah, we'll send that out in the email afterwards if you can't get that out of the chat. Okay, this is the last one that I'm going to come to. Interested in if you've ever got a new client from LinkedIn. So I'm going to run a quick poll on that. If you ever got a client from LinkedIn, I definitely have. We've got several clients from LinkedIn. I actually did a deal which was worth 6 figures with one of the big industry vendors from very kind of cold outreach on LinkedIn. So there's a lot you can do through there, in my opinion, but I think a lot of people aren't using it to its full potential and they're spending a lot of time on stuff that doesn't necessarily convert into dollars. So let that run a little bit more. Okay, so 29% of people have, 71 haven't. Let's check the results up here. So this is my opinion, right? Why I've crossed out content on that slide is I think people focus too much on LinkedIn on posting content. And there's too much content in the world, right? Like there's more content produced every day than like the entire of human history before that. And think more and more about this every day is that I think people are sick of advice. There's too much advice. I think what people are craving more of is things like encouragement. There's everyone's got an opinion on marketing, on finance, on this, on that, and they're all shouting from the rooftops on LinkedIn. But I think that encouragement works better than that. And that's what the strategy is based on. And it'll also save you a lot of time. The other thing I've noticed with accountants and bookkeepers is on LinkedIn, a lot of them are mainly networked with other accountants and bookkeepers and not people in their ideal client profile or business owners. So I think putting those two things together, what I see is people like getting pretty mixed results off LinkedIn, which I guess our little poll would suggest as well. So what I'm going to suggest is a strategy where you can dial back the content and the posting and focus on connecting with people and commenting. And I think that will get you some better results. So skipping on to the next part of this. So this is my sort of like little LinkedIn lead gen. I don't really like that phrase lead gen, but the lead gen campaign. But the what this centers on really is understanding your ideal client, right? Having an ideal client that you can really define and find on LinkedIn. Now, I would say that about all your marketing, we've talked about that a little bit already with some of those campaigns. If you haven't got one, there's a sheet that Anthea can drop into the chat, which can help you work that out. But yeah, this campaign really assumes that. And the idea really is to connect with, say, 5 people a day. I mean, you could do it, you could do that over a couple of days and do more or whatever. But I'd be connecting with, like, say, 5 people a day in your ideal client profile, which you can get by filtering out on LinkedIn. You can use the search and filter things out. You can pay for LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which has got really good filters, but we're talking about free campaigns here. So if you did 5 a day, that's roughly like 1,000 a year. I'm talking about business days here. Say you got a 30% connection rate, it's 300 new connections. So that's not like loads. So you might want to up the number there. Now, I would be connected with no message, just connect and see what happens. I've tried every which way, and I think that's probably what works best right now. And when people connect with you, what I'd then be doing is just sending them a simple message like I've put on here. Great to connect. I work with high growth marketing agencies. So you'd be putting in your ideal client, helping them manage cash flow with a focus on getting paid faster. Just what you do, right? Like the thing that they care about that you do. I mostly talk about agency financials on here. I'm always happy to chat one-to-one. So I put that template in that doc. Now you can tweak that whichever way you would, and I would definitely be tweaking it to be very personal each time. But the key things about that is, so yeah, people are connected with you. You're not doing the whole, hey, trying to sell. We all hate that, right? If someone connects with you, you're getting sold straight away. It's just thanks for connecting. This is what I do, and so that not asking for anything is really important. Don't ask for anything. Let them know what you do, but don't ask. They will check you out. If they're interested, like if they're looking for an accountant or whatever, they're going to check you out. So it will work from that point of view, but we're not trying to sell here. This isn't the bit where we're trying to sell. We're trying to relationship build. So I just send a message like that and leave it as that. The second part of the strategy is then following and leaders and influencers in that ideal client profile. So that obviously is the people you're connecting with. There could be some really influential, in my example, like agency owners. There could be some coaches to agencies, vendors. So follow those people and then just start commenting on their stuff. Don't write your own content, don't need to. And what you're doing there is you're being like a visible expert, right? So people can see you commenting on that. You're leveraging off their networks. So you're not necessarily just having to build it yourself. You're commenting on people who've already got a big following. And like I said at the start, I think people want encouragement and support on their content more than they want to read advice. So rather than feeling like you've got to do this like a post a day and all of that stuff that all the LinkedIn gurus want to tell you, I honestly think that you can go really well just by engaging and commenting on other people's stuff. And the more influential they are, the more you're going to expose with that network effect, the more people are going to see you. And believe me, people will check you out. I've won clients off the back of people saying, "Oh, I really like that comment you did on so and so's post." It really does work, and it's way less effort, right? Like those people put in the effort into writing the content. You put the comments in there. So I think I'm not saying don't post. If you want to do that and you've got something really interesting and unique to say, by all means do it. Posting generalist business content, I don't know how much cut through you're going to get with that. I think niching down to your ICP makes it way easier to say something, if not unique, unique in that kind of in that kind of community. But what I would say is that most people focus on posting that kind of educational advice type content. And I would also say you should be posting things like testimonials and promotional posts. Otherwise, your content is just advice, right? Like, and people, yeah, they might check you out a little bit, but showing what you've done for other people and testimonials, great way to sell. And doing your promotional post, which doesn't have to be super salesy, it's just talking about what you do. That also works when mixed in with all the other stuff that you're doing. So I think the idea behind this, the way this strategy works, you're connecting with the right people, you're engaging in that community, and then if you want to do a little bit of posting, whether it's testimonials and promotional stuff, that can give a bit of a cutting edge to this. Um, Ways to multiply this strategy would be getting your team also connecting and posting the similar types of things. That's obviously increasing that network effect. Um, but yeah, I think getting out there, connecting with the right people, and engaging on their stuff, be amazed what that can do. The key ingredients being you've got to have that ideal client persona profile, and you've got to be consistent with it. Be seen regularly in there. And if you've niched down, it's amazing how you can be a big fish in a small pond in these little communities. So wrapping it up, look, your clients mostly don't know all the ways you can help them, and the cost to let them know that $0. Take those templates, you could send them tomorrow, right? Send them this afternoon. Most people aren't asking for referrals enough, or consistently. So the cost to ask for more of them, $0. And if you're not getting new clients from LinkedIn, the cost to connect and comment, like I've just been talking about, is $0. I think there's a time investment in that, depends how you do it, maybe 1 to 2 hours a week. So hopefully those are 3 campaigns that you can at least use one of. Hopefully you can use all 3 of. Um, my question to you is, like, if you like DIY, then I'm going to give you all of those resources in that doc. We're going to send some checklists and a calendar for you as well when we follow up with the recording. If it all sounds like hard work, but you do want to implement some marketing this year, then let's get a time scheduled to chat. And we've got a new marketing assistant service where we can look after, all your marketing, including your social media, your LinkedIn, that kind of thing, blogging, SEO, all those key touch points, email as well, for a really low monthly cost. So yeah, you can book some time with me via that link, or can run a quick poll and you can let us know there, and we can get back to you. That's just an anonymous poll. But what I'm going to do now is stick around for a Q&A if you have any questions for me. We were talking about LinkedIn. I'll throw my LinkedIn into the chat. Always like connecting with people. Yeah, if you've got any questions, fire them into the chat, the Q&A. Eric, we're not going to be at ZeroCon in Nashville this year, unfortunately. Much as I'm not a fan of country and Western music, I would like to go to Nashville, but no, unfortunately, we're not going to make it this year. You're about the third person who's asked me that today, but unfortunately, we won't be. I hope you have a good time if you are going. If anyone's got any questions, yeah, fire them into the Q&A. The Q&A or chat. No, I don't think you can ever make me a country fan, Eric.
Hey Matt, we just got a question about I think some of your email templates, like in the previews on screen, they're just text. Do you recommend adding images or anything else to those?
Oh, good question. No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. So, I, yeah, I think anything that feels like marketing is it puts people off a little bit, right? Like, so my opinion is you want this to feel as much like a one-to-one communication as possible. And some of it would be, right? Some of these templates you might just send it through your Gmail or your Outlook or whatever. But if you're sending it through like a MailChimp, my recommendation would be as close to plain text as you can get. Um, you know, I get a lot of pushback on this. I think it's because people spent a lot of money on their brand and they want to slap the logo on it and all of that. But like, frankly, people don't care, and they recognize it. I mean, they're only going to open your emails if they recognize who you are anyway. So that's your brand, right? Like, and so they don't need to see your logo. My opinion is keep it really simple. Then it's going to work in every device as well. But yeah, I think those plain text templates work best. I found that in our own, you would know, Andy, in our own stuff in BizInc, they outperform when we do branded stuff. And there's a bunch of HubSpot research on that where those templates outperform HTML emails, which is the ones with the images in them, for two reasons. One, for kind of what I said, which is almost like the feel of it, to make it feel more just like a normal email, the plain text one. The other one is that ESPs, email like service providers, they're less likely to block a plain email. It's way easier for it to go through all their filters and things like that. So yeah, my strong advice would be to keep it simple. I know people love their logos and all of that, but I just don't think email is the place for them. Cool. Well, I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. Did any more come in other ways, Anthony? Jono's asking if I need a bookkeeper. We've got a good accountant and bookkeeper, thanks. We just moved, and I'm not going through all of that again. Good try though. I appreciate the effort.
No, I can't see any more myself. Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, it's gone a little bit over what I said it would, but hopefully I can give you a bunch of your day back there. We'll be sending out the recording, the templates, and those other resources. I encourage you to try one of those campaigns, if not all three. They're things that I've seen working in a lot of accountants and bookkeeping firms that we work with, and they're what we do as well. So thanks heaps for coming along. Appreciate you making the time, and yeah, look forward to seeing you on the next session.